What's going on, guys? Parker here, and I am back with another video. And today I got my top 5 NBA player props for the day. And before we get into this video, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel down below if you are new. Give this video a big thumbs up and leave a comment on this video down below, because all those things really help the channel out a ton and really help push my content out to more and more people each and every single day. So I really would appreciate it. And yeah, we got a huge NBA slate today. There was no games on yesterday, so we got a ton of games on today. And before we do get into today's video, I did want to mention real quick that Sleeper has a free Jason Tatum square for new users. You can get access to this free square as well as an 100% match on your first deposit up to $100 when you use code FF23. That's code FF23 on Sleeper. So make sure to sign up for Sleeper today. Make sure to use code FF23. And without further ado, let's get right into today's player props. So first off, I got LeBron James over 25.5 points versus the Grizzlies. So LeBron is over this line in 2 out of his last 3 games. He's over this line in 5 out of his last 7 versus the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies allow the 5th most points per game in the NBA to power forward so far this season as well. Grizzlies have not been good defensively so far this year. They have not been good at guarding forwards whatsoever. They don't really have a wing to match up against LeBron James. I think LeBron has a big game tonight. I think he likely has a huge game. Anthony Davis is also a good chance he's out. If he's out, then LeBron's going to soar over this line. Even if he plays, I think LeBron has a heavier workload scoring tonight, and I think he goes over this line. So LeBron James over 25.5 points versus the Grizzlies, minus 104 on Fanduel is my first play of the day. Next up, I got Jaylen Brunson over 28.5 points versus the Hawks, minus 109 on Caesars. So Brunson's over this line in 2 straight games. The Hawks allow the 2nd most points per game in the NBA to point guards so far this season. The Hawks have allowed the 4th highest field goal percentage in the NBA to point guards this season. He's guarded by Trae Young, and he should be able to dominate this matchup. He likely gets the matchup versus Trae Young. Trae Young, we know, is one of the absolute worst defenders in the NBA. Even though he's been improving and he tries, he's still not great. So I think Jaylen Brunson has the advantage here. I think Jaylen Brunson has a big game. So Jaylen Brunson over 28.5 points versus the Hawks, minus 109 on Caesars is my second play of the day. Next up, I got Stephen Curry over 23.5 points versus the Celtics, minus 125 on DraftKings. So Curry is over this line 13 of his last 16 matchups versus the Celtics. Celtics allow the most points per game in the NBA to point guards this season. They have been struggling drastically versus the point guard position. They have been absolutely no good. The Celtics also allowed the 3rd highest field goal percentage in the NBA to point guards this season. So overall, this is an ideal matchup for Curry, a matchup he should be able to dominate. And yeah, Stephen Curry over 23.5 points versus the Celtics, minus 125 on DraftKings is my 3rd play of the day. Next up, I got Demar Derozan over 28.5 points plus assists versus the Kings, minus versus the Kings. I meant to put versus the Raptors, sorry. Minus 111 on Caesars. So DeRozan is over this line in 3 straight games. He's over this line in his first matchup versus the Raptors this season. He's over this line in 4 out of his last 5 matchups versus the Raptors as well. The Raptors are obviously DeMar DeRozan's former team. He always seems to play well versus them. It's likely he's highly motivated when he plays against this team. He wants to show them, what they missed out trading him, obviously, even though they did win a title the year they traded him for Kawhi Leonard. But I think this is a matchup DeRozan's always hyped for. He always plays well. And now he's got the Drake beef, so he's even more motivated to perform well. So DeMar DeRozan over 28.5 points plus assists versus the Raptors, minus 111 on Caesars is my 4th play of the day. Lastly, for my 5th and final play, I got Chris Paul under 12.5 rebounds plus assists versus the Rockets, minus 132 on FanDuel. So Paul is over this line in 4 straight. That's why the line is inflated here. The Rockets have allowed the 6th fewest rebounds per game to point guards this season. The Rockets have allowed the 4th fewest assists per game to point guards this season. So the Rockets are not allowing either rebounds or assists to point guards so far this year. The Rockets have been a very solid defense. I think that continues tonight. I don't think Chris Paul has his way facilitating. I think he struggles a bit. So Chris Paul under 12.5 rebounds plus assists versus the Rockets, minus 132 on FanDuel. Line's too high. So those were my top 5 NBA player props for the day. Like I said, if you did enjoy this video and you want to see more content from me moving forward, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. Give this video a big thumbs up and leave a comment on this video down below, because all those things really help the channel out a ton and really help push my content out to more and more people each and every single day. But yeah, guys, without further ado, I hope you all did enjoy, and I'll see you on the next one.